What's up, guys? My name is Black Rafiki. I am from the Even More About Nothing podcast. If you've never seen our podcast, you would like to know, I will put links in the description, but I will get back to that later at the end of this video. But I wanted to get started. I wanted to talk about some of my favorite moments from the fall season premiere of the Flash episode that just aired this week. So I'm going to talk about some of my favorite moments. It'll be a slight, quick discussion, nothing too lengthy. And then we'll just and I'll try to do this as a weekly thing. I really enjoy the show, and I want to discuss it with everybody out there. So without further ado, let's get with this. So one of my favorite moments that I really enjoyed was the dream that Barry had to start the episode, where he's dreaming about having that date, going on a date with Patty, and Zoom rolls in and grabs Patty and kills her. I enjoyed that aspect so much because it was displaying Zoom for us, and it was showing how much Zoom is really affecting Barry, especially after a few episodes ago when Zoom beat the beat the block off of Barry and dragged him around town, showing everybody like, this is your hero. He's nothing. I can take him out. But that would. I just loved, I guess, what imagery that it was giving or showing us without really showing that there's a physical battle or they have to have the physical presence. It's all mental. And I really liked that aspect of this episode that was going on, that was being displayed. With the relationship between Patty and Barry. I really enjoyed it, and to be honest, I didn't expect it to end how it did. Just in terms of that, she was planning to go to CSI school and planning to leave the relationship behind. But I don't think you can really anybody can blame her nor blame Barry for not really or taking too long to tell her. Um, and it was kind of cool that for the most part that everybody was supporting that relationship, and then letting Barry know, like, if you want her and you're really serious about this, you have to tell Patty that you're the Flash, otherwise it's not going to go anywhere. And I like the fact that he was consulting, he was asking around. But one aspect I really enjoyed, and I don't know how many people out there really enjoyed it. I liked Harrison Wells' response, and he was like, "No." He was the only one that said no, and I was kind of happy about that. Like, someone else was there to tell him, like, "Hey, yeah, I hear what everybody's saying." It was almost like I hear what everybody's saying, but if I were you, I wouldn't. Obviously, because he's speaking from experience, he's speaking from what's happening right now, which that's always a constant thought in his head that Jesse, his daughter, is captured by Zoom, and he's trying to figure out, obviously, any way to get her back. So I did like that. A little bit of a twist. I guess you could say it was a bit of a twist. Later finding out that Jay Garrick was sick. Um, I guess it could make sense. Now, I guess the question is this has this always been some sort of illness he contracted, maybe when he lost his speed force and then being shot through um, the breaches under the new Earth? Was it pre-existing, and he has speed, his speed force or his um, hyper regenerative powers because of the speed force made it null and void? I don't know exactly kind of what's going on there, and I find that really interesting to ponder. So I'm going to say maybe it was something that came about after he was thrown through the breach. Although, then again, I could be wrong, and he did say that he was working on a cure for, I think, the 6 months that he was there before he went to go talk to Team Flash crew at the beginning of episode 2 in the new season. So um, I think that's fun to to contemplate. But I also like that Caitlyn is not willing to give up on this relationship. She's having fun with Jay, and she's really trying to say, hey, I'm not going to let you go that easily. Look what I had been through last year. We're not gonna do this. I don't want this to happen. So I found that really really cool. Um, On to the next thing. Turtle. Um, to be honest, I didn't really know too much on the Turtle character in terms of in the comics. I do read quite a bit of DC comics. Nowhere near the expert that I would like to be, but I'm working at it. So the Turtle to me, name had sound kind of familiar, but just for the sake of I'll just talk in the episode sense. But I found it very cool that he could slow down or manipulate the kinetic energy around him. Now, I've been of the person that looking towards the future in terms of this season that Barry was going to be able to do. Barry was going to be able to do possibly the ability to siphon or take away or give the Speed Force ability to an individual. I know that is something that has happened in the comics. Those who have read Flash comics are somewhat familiar with that, and um, and so with the Turtle showing up, being able to take away kinetic energy helps me kind of think that that might be a huge possibility. And if it is, I'm very, very excited because that would mean so many things and opening so many doors in terms of just, um, making it that much more awesome of a TV show, and just some of these little Easter eggs that they like to give us, especially us comic book readers that we're like, oh, I remember this, like Velocity 6. I know a lot of people saw Velocity 6 and real instantly thought Velocity 9, and chances are they're probably going to work that up to Velocity 9 starting from 6 on the show. So. But I would also like to quick little interjection on theory. I believe that obviously I think we're definitely all know that we're working towards Jay Garrick getting his powers, but I'm under the impression that it's going to be one of two things or the combination that Barry is going to be able to give Jay Garrick Speed Force power, or it's going to be the Velocity 9 that Harrison Wells creates. If not, it may be a combination of the two. Who knows? I'm gonna side on the side that's going to be a combination of the two, but who knows? So continuing on, I do like how they are progressing this relationship between Wally and Joe. It was definitely you could sense that awkwardness between them. Wally had a couple smart lines there, just to let him know, hey, I'm witty. I'm out here. I'm coming for some people. That especially that comment to Iris, like, "What about your white shadow?" I know there were probably some people that felt a little uncomfortable and they weren't sure they were meant to laugh or not. But it was definitely a funny comment, and also the stab at Joe saying, "Oh, you're a cop." The detective who didn't know he had a son, but it just kind of to let us know that there is that tension. But I do like that you could sense that it wasn't a complete reconciliation at the end, but it got them to a place where they're okay with it. They're not going to rush anything. They're not going to force anything. They don't want it more awkward than it already is, which I like that. So I hope they take their time with this, I really hope they do and develop it as best as possible. Although on the other hand, I mean, who wouldn't love to see Wally West get powers? Who wouldn't love to see him become Kid Flash? So there's that. And then Harrison Wells. I I'm really liking, Earth 2 Harrison Wells. Obviously he has his moments, but um, I've been liking the edgy and that douche like attitude that he's been giving. It's definitely something different in terms of compared to everybody else in the show, but it's all for good reason. Um, but I do like the character development in this particular episode that they gave him, with him telling Barry, "Hey, um, don't tell Patty, because if Zoom finds out, everybody around you is going to get hurt, and that's a problem. That's bad news. So we shouldn't do that." And I like the fact he was the only person to do that. So he's still in a sense still is wanting to hunt Zoom. But at the same time, it looks like that they're making him less of a douche and really showing that he's starting to care for these guys. He's really in his own way, he cares for these guys legitimately. Um, so that was interesting. And then that little moment that Cisco and Zoom, Cisco and Harrison had conversation had about Zoom. I found it, in a way, in an odd way, a bit comical. With Cisco saying Zoom, well, who gave him that ridiculous name? And then, of course, you've got the story of how he got the nickname Zoom. Um, I felt bad for the guy at the end of the story who got killed. He was alive to tell the story, and that's all she wrote. Zoom came back, boom. That was interesting, but at the end of the episode, now this is what I think. Even though I'm under the impression, even though Harrison said he was going to help Zoom, I believe that he was doing that in terms of being able to keep Jessie alive and know that she's alive, but really he's helping Team Flash. Now he might he's probably gonna pull one of those double/triple agent type things where one moment he actually looks like, oh, he's helping Zoom, but he needs everyone to believe that he's helping Zoom, but ultimately, he turns around and then helps Team Flash. So he's keeping it a secret, so that way it gets maximum effect for what he's really trying to do. Especially when I believe at the end of the episode, didn't he crack? I believe he cracked Turtle's skull. Um, and trying to get that sample. And did anybody notice that it's extremely, extremely similar to Earth One Harrison Wells or Eobard Thawne? I don't remember which meta he had gone to, and took some of his power to help figure out how to make Barry faster and steal his speed and get revenge on him. And then at the end of the episode, the big, I guess you could say WTF was Reverse Flash returned. Um, and from the trailers of the next episode, it looks like it's definitely Earth One, Harrison Wells, or Eobard Thawne, I'm sorry. Definitely Earth One, and it looks like we're in the origin story. Now, I'm sure like everybody else, I'm a little confused, but the show, for the most part, is pretty good about explaining themselves. But we'll just have to wait till next week and see. But I just kind of wanted to get these thoughts out and get them out to you. Let me know in the description what you thought of the episode, how you rated it, what are you most excited for, what are some of your theories. That would be awesome to know. So I want to let you guys know real quick. I'm a part of a podcast called Even More About Nothing. We are a podcast that talks about anything and just about everything nerdy, from video games, if you're into anime, if you're into comics, whatever it is, geeky, nerdy, whatever, we try to talk about it. And so I'm going to put a link in the description below. And check us out. We're on SoundCloud. We're on iTunes. You can find us on Facebook. At Even More About Nothing. So we have a page there, and then we love to interact with you guys. So send us questions. We try to answer questions on the podcast. We like to have a good time with it. We usually put up episodes roughly every Tuesday or Wednesday, kind of depending on the week. And we just talk about things that come out within the week. But go check us out if you're really interested. We do touch on some Flash, Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow stuff. So just go ahead and give us a listen. Give us a like on Facebook. Tell your friends about us. But with that, I will see you guys later. I will have my next episode up soon. That will be on the Arrow episode, and I'll also be doing Legends of Tomorrow. So I will check you guys out later. See ya.